The life and career of Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean is a famous British character known for his silent comedy. He never speaks much, but his actions make people laugh all over the world. Many people love Mr. Bean because he is funny, strange, and sometimes very clever. But behind the laughter, there is a real man with a real-life story. That man's name is Rowan Atkinson. Rowan Atkinson was born on January 6, 1955, in Consent, County Durham, England. He grew up in a small town with 3 brothers. His father worked in a factory that made car parts. His mother stayed at home and took care of the children. From an early age, Rowan was different from the other kids. He was very smart and did well in school. But he also had a stutter, which made speaking difficult for him. Because of his stutter, Rowan felt shy and nervous when talking to others. He found comfort in making people laugh. When he was young, he would do silly things to make his brothers giggle. One time, he wore his socks on his hands and pretended to be a monster. Another time, he put a spoon on his nose and walked around like a robot. These little jokes helped him feel more confident. As he got older, Rowan realized that humor could help him connect with people. In high school, he joined the drama club. At first, he was scared to perform in front of others. But soon, he discovered that when he acted, people didn't focus on his stutter. They focused on the funny characters he created. This gave him courage. After finishing school, Rowan went to university. He studied electrical engineering at Newcastle University. Even though his subject was serious, Rowan still loved comedy. He performed in student shows and wrote funny sketches with friends. One of his best friends at university was Richard Curtis. Richard later became a famous writer and helped create many British comedies. During university, Rowan began to develop his own style of humor. He liked physical comedy, funny movements, facial expressions, and silent gags. He watched old silent films by Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton. He learned how to tell a story without words. After graduating, Rowan did not become an engineer. Instead, he decided to become an actor. He applied to Oxford University to study a master's degree in electrical engineering. But while studying, he became more involved in theater. At Oxford, he met more people who loved comedy. They formed a group called the Oxford Review. They performed satirical and absurd sketches at festivals. Rowan stood out because of his unique face and timing. His performances were so good that he was noticed by television producers. In 1979, Rowan appeared on a BBC show called Not the 9 O'Clock News. It was a comedy program that made fun of current events.
Rowan played many strange characters. One was a clumsy waiter who dropped everything. Another was a mad scientist who exploded his lab. People started to recognize him. The show became very popular. But after 4 seasons, it ended. Rowan needed a new project. He wanted to create a character that could make people laugh without speaking. He thought about someone who was childish, curious, and always getting into trouble. That character became Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean first appeared on television in 1990. The first episode was called Mr. Bean. It showed him waking up, doing strange morning routines, and going to church. He used a catapult to get toothpaste on his brush. He played with a toy dinosaur during prayer. No one understood what he was thinking, but everyone laughed. The show was simple but brilliant. Each episode lasted about 25 minutes. There was almost no dialogue. Most of the story was told through actions. Mr. Bean lived alone in a small flat. He had a teddy bear named Teddy. Teddy was his best friend. Mr. Bean treated Teddy like a real person. He let Teddy sit in the passenger seat of his Mini Cooper car. He even argued with Teddy about where to go. The car was old and yellow. It broke down often, but Mr. Bean loved it. He washed it carefully and polished it every weekend. Sometimes he danced around it like it was alive.
The success of Mr. Bean surprised everyone. People in Britain loved it. Soon, other countries started showing the show. In France, Italy, Japan, and even Russia, audiences laughed at Mr. Bean. Children and adults both enjoyed it. It was funny in any language. Because there was little speech, translation was easy. Only the signs or labels needed changing. Rowan Atkinson became internationally famous. But fame brought new challenges. Reporters followed him. Fans stopped him on the street. Some people expected him to act like Mr. Bean all the time. But Rowan was not Mr. Bean. He was a quiet, thoughtful man who liked reading and spending time with family. He found too much attention stressful. He tried to stay out of the spotlight. He avoided big parties and interviews. He preferred working on new projects quietly. Still, the world wanted more Mr. Bean. So, Rowan agreed to make more episodes. Between 1990 and 1995, 14 full episodes were made. Each one showed Mr. Bean in a new situation. In one, he went to the beach and fought with an inflatable boat. In another, He tried to paint a picture for an art contest. He used his own hair as a brush. In another episode, he attended a posh dinner party. He didn't understand the rules. He ate peas with a teaspoon and blew his nose into a napkin. Everyone at the table stared at him. But Mr. Bean didn't notice. He was happy. Children loved watching Mr. Bean. Schools even used his episodes to teach English. Teachers said the clear actions helped students understand meaning. For example, when Mr. Bean sneezed and knocked over a vase, students could guess what happened. They didn't need words. Parents liked that the show was clean and safe. There was no violence or bad language. Just silly mistakes and funny solutions. But not everyone praised Mr. Bean. Some critics said the humor was too childish. They thought it lacked depth. Others said Rowan was wasting his talent. They believed he could play more serious roles. Rowan heard these comments, but he believed that making people laugh was important. He knew Mr. Bean brought joy to millions. That was enough for him. Behind the scenes, making Mr. Bean was hard work. Every movement had to be planned. A single scene might take hours to film. For example, the scene where Mr. Bean tries to remove a turkey from the oven. He uses tools, ropes, and even a fishing rod. It looks spontaneous, but it was carefully rehearsed. Rowan had to repeat the actions many times. Sometimes he got tired or frustrated, but he never gave up until it was perfect. The team included writers, directors, and stunt performers. But Rowan was the main creator. He helped write the scripts and design the gags. He tested ideas at home before filming. Once, he practiced opening a suitcase with his feet for 10 minutes. His wife thought he was crazy, but it ended up in an episode. Rowan's personal life was private. He married a woman named Sunetra Sastry in 1990. She was a makeup artist. They met while working on a TV show. They had 2 children, a daughter named Lily and a son named Benjamin. Rowan loved being a father. He played games with his kids and told them stories. But he also worked a lot. Filming Mr. Bean took time. He missed some school events. That made him sad. He tried to balance work and family. Sometimes he brought his children to the set. They liked watching their dad turn into Mr. Bean. Once, Lily said, "Dad is serious at home, but when he puts on that suit, he becomes silly." The suit was part of Mr. Bean's identity. It was a brown tweed jacket with patches on the elbows. He wore a red tie, gray trousers, and black shoes. His face had small eyes, a thin mouth, and bushy eyebrows. He rarely smiled, but his expressions changed quickly. He could look confused, angry, proud, or shocked in seconds. His walk was stiff, like a robot. His car honked in a funny way. Beep, beep. All these details made Mr. Bean memorable. In 1997, Rowan decided to bring Mr. Bean to the big screen. The movie was called Bean, the Ultimate Disaster Movie. It was a full-length film. The story was about Mr. Bean being sent from Britain to America. He had to deliver a valuable painting to an art gallery in Los Angeles. But instead of protecting it, he caused chaos. He painted over it, spilled juice on it, and even cut it in half. Of course, everything turned out okay in the end. The movie was filmed in real locations. Rowan visited the United States for the first time for this project. He stayed in a hotel in Hollywood. He explored the city and saw famous places. But he also felt pressure. This was his first major movie. If it failed, Mr. Bean might disappear. So he worked harder than ever. He practiced scenes daily. He studied American culture to make the jokes fit. For example, he learned how Americans eat fast food. In one scene, Mr. Bean eats a burger in a strange way. He cuts it into tiny pieces and arranges them like a puzzle. The movie was released in 1997. It earned over $250 million worldwide. Critics had mixed opinions. Some said it was too long. Others said the jokes were repetitive. But audiences loved it. Children laughed. Adults remembered their childhood. The film proved that Mr. Bean could succeed outside television. Rowan was happy but tired. After the movie, he took a break. He wanted to try something new. He starred in a spy comedy called Johnny English. It was about a clumsy secret agent. Like Mr. Bean, Johnny English messed up everything. But he spoke more and had a plot with villains. The movie came out in 2003. It was successful. People liked the action and jokes. Rowan made 2 sequels, Johnny English Reborn, 2011, and Johnny English Strikes Again, 2018. These movies kept him busy for years. But fans still wanted more Mr. Bean. In 2007, a new animated series began. It was called Mr. Bean the Animated Series. The cartoons looked like the real show. Mr. Bean still didn't talk. He used grunts, sighs, and sounds. The stories were shorter. Each episode had 2 parts. One showed Mr. Bean at home. Another showed him outside. The animation allowed impossible gags. For example, Mr. Bean once inflated himself like a balloon to float away. Or he turned into a superhero with underpants over his pants.
Children enjoyed the wild imagination. Rowan did not animate it himself, but he helped with voice sounds and approved the ideas. He wanted to keep the spirit of Mr. Bean alive. Meanwhile, Rowan faced personal difficulties.
In 2011, he crashed his sports car. He was driving too fast on a wet road. The car flipped and caught fire. Rowan survived with minor injuries, but the accident scared him. He later admitted he had been speeding. He apologized to the public. He said he was lucky to be alive. After that, he drove more carefully. He also spoke about mental health. Rowan said he had struggled with anxiety for years. Even though he made people laugh, he sometimes felt sad inside. He didn't want pity, but he wanted others to know it was okay to ask for help. He visited schools and shared his story. He encouraged young people to talk about their feelings. This side of Rowan surprised many. They only knew him as funny. But now they saw he was human. In 2012, Rowan performed at the London Olympics. It was a special sketch during the opening ceremony. He pretended to be part of an orchestra. While playing a keyboard, he fell asleep. Then he dreamed of dancing with giant computer mice. The audience laughed. World leaders smiled. It was a proud moment for Rowan. He represented British humor on a global stage. Later that year, he returned to Mr. Bean for a short film. It was called Happy Birthday, Mr. Bean. It celebrated the character's 22nd anniversary. In the story, Mr. Bean tries to buy a birthday cake, but everything goes wrong. He drops it, steps on it, and finally eats it off the floor. The film was shown online. Millions watched it. It reminded people why they loved Mr. Bean. Despite his success, Rowan never forgot his roots. He donated money to charities. He supported education and medical research. He visited hospitals and cheered sick children. Once, he went to a children's ward dressed as Mr. Bean. He didn't speak. He just made funny faces and played with toys. The kids laughed and forgot their pain. Doctors said it was better than medicine. Rowan felt deeply moved. He realized laughter could heal. In 2015, a live-action Mr. Bean special aired. It was called Mr. Bean's Holiday. Not to be confused with the 2007 movie Mr. Bean's Holiday, which was actually released in 2007. Correction. Mr. Bean's Holiday was a film released in 2007. It showed Mr. Bean winning a trip to the French Riviera. He traveled by train, bus, and bicycle. He accidentally ruined a wedding. He entered a religious procession with a giant chicken. And he saved a boy from drowning.
The movie combined physical comedy with heart. At the end, Mr. Bean gave the boy his prize camera. It showed he had kindness beneath the silliness. The film was a hit. It earned over $230 million. Rowan won awards for his performance, but he remained humble. He said the credit belonged to the whole team. By now, Mr. Bean was more than a character. He was a cultural icon. Toys, books, clothes, and games carried his image. Theme parks had Mr. Bean rides. Schools taught lessons using his videos. Scientists studied how his humor crossed cultures. Even robots were programmed to copy his movements. Rowan was amazed. He never expected such impact. In 2019, Rowan appeared in a new short film. It was set at the Wimbledon tennis tournament. Mr. Bean was a spectator. He caused trouble with a drone, a sandwich, and a loud horn. The film was part of a promotional event. It showed Mr. Bean was still relevant. Even after 30 years, people wanted to see him. Rowan continued acting. He returned to serious theater. He played Captain Hook in Peter Pan. He acted in Shakespeare plays. He proved he was more than just a comedian. But Mr. Bean remained his most beloved creation. In interviews, Rowan said he might retire the character. He was getting older. Running and jumping were harder. He didn't want to disappoint fans with weak performances. But he left the door open. If a great idea comes, maybe Mr. Bean will return, he said. Today, Rowan lives quietly. He spends time with his family. He reads books and walks in nature. He still drives his Mini Cooper, but slowly. He smiles when he sees children laughing at Mr. Bean videos. He knows the character will live forever, because laughter never ages. Mr. Bean teaches us that it's okay to be different. It's okay to fail. It's okay to be silly. And sometimes, the quietest person has the loudest heart. Rowan Atkinson's journey shows that talent, hard work, and kindness can create something timeless. From a shy boy with a stutter to a global star, he never lost himself. He used humor to overcome fear. And in doing so, he brought light to millions. That is the true story of Mr. Bean and the man behind him.